Hi, I'm Tonya Plank. I'm author of a novel called Swallow here, and I'm very honored to be on the Lit Chick show today. I want to thank Sylvia and Angela for having me. Swallow is my first novel, and it's about a 26-year-old Manhattan attorney named Sophie Hagel. She's just graduated from law school and gotten her first job in New York and received a marriage proposal from her longtime boyfriend when she's suddenly stricken with this psychosomatic disorder known as globus hystericus, or globus sensation. And it's where you feel a large ball in your throat, and it can make it very difficult to eat and drink and to speak and sometimes even to breathe. And it really wreaks havoc on Sophie's life. It causes all these problems, and she loses weight very rapidly. She becomes mentally and physically weak, and she has a hard time representing her clients in court because she can't speak very well. So it is purely psychological, so it can be very hard to get rid of since you don't know really what's causing it. So it's about her journey to recovery, to figuring out what's causing her problem and to getting rid of it. Thematically, it's largely about class issues. Sophie comes from a very small town in Arizona that's known basically for housing a large prison and not much else. And she comes from a very working class background. Her family, most of them are on welfare. They live in trailer parks. Her father makes porn videos. So they don't really understand, what she's doing in New York. She doesn't have a very good relationship with them. And yet through hard work, she's managed to get into a prestigious law school and then get a good job in New York. But in New York, she finds herself surrounded by all these very privileged, very wealthy people. Her colleagues, her fiance, and his family and friends, and her own friends. And the judges she appears before, she doesn't have that much in common with them, and she feels that they look down on her a lot, and they can be very condescending to her in ways that they're not really aware of, and that she's not even fully aware of, and it can really chip away at her self-esteem, and it does. So I wanted to create this character who, ironically had all these accomplishments and yet just was very lacking in self-esteem. And her job in New York, she's an appellate public defender, so she represents poor people in appealing their criminal convictions. And so ironically, she oftentimes feels more in common with her imprisoned clients in New York than she does with her colleagues and her fiance and her friends. People ask me what inspired me to write this book, and basically the fact that I had the disorder for a few years. And it's actually not all that uncommon. Many people consider it to be an anxiety disorder. It's suffered equally by men and women, unlike anorexia and bulimia that are mostly suffered by women. And I just thought that a lot of people could relate to it, especially the things that can cause it, like stress and anxiety, not being able to stand up for yourself very well, and having very low self-esteem. I also thought, I also had the same job that Sophie did. I was a criminal appeals attorney for several years, and I was very affected by the job, by the way that the criminal justice system treats certain people, and I was very compelled to write about that. And I also thought that people would be interested in reading what it was like to represent these kinds of clients and go before these judges. And so I thought that would be very dramatic and make for an interesting novel. The novel won several awards. It won a gold medal in the 2010 Living Now Book Awards and a gold medal for Best Fiction Set in the Northeast in the 2010 Independent Publisher Book Awards. And it also was a finalist in the Forward Book of the Year Awards and the National Indie Excellence Awards. But I'm very proud of the Independent Publisher Book Award because I feel like this is very much a New York novel. There are lots of very New Yorky characters. There's a fashion designer who Sophie's good friends with. She ends up being in a fashion show. There's an artist she's good friends with, and she goes to a lot of museum openings and art gallery openings. And there's a doorman who actually figures quite greatly in the novel. There's a politician who she meets. It's election season. And so there's all these New Yorky characters, and I hope that I captured some of the diversity and the fascinating quality of New York. The novel's available in both paperback form and ebook form in all formats. And it's available in all major online bookstores, Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com, Smashwords, iBookstore, IndieReader.com, all of those. And people also ask me if I'm working on a sequel Not yet, but I may. If there's interest, I can definitely think of interesting places I could take Sophie, and interesting things that I could have happen to her in a sequel. Right now I'm working on another kind of courtroom, legal, urban drama, also set in New York, about several different characters who all witness a shooting from various perspectives. So once I'm done with that, I may go back and write a sequel to this. In the meantime, I'm also an intermittent ballroom dancer. I ballroom dance from time to time, and so I write a dance blog called Swan Lake Samba Girl. It's both about ballroom and ballet and other kinds of dance in New York, and it can be found at my website, which is www.tonyaplank.com. That's Tonyaplank.com. Okay, thank you.